Why? Because the new literacy is a direct outgrowth of the communications revolution which began in the 1970s and early 1980s with the very first personal computers and printers. Together with the early printers and early word processors, for the first time, the home user could style text, not just edit it. More important, these tools made revision something mechanically easy to do, and thus something everyone could do, not just professional writers and editors. Thus was born the expectation of the print-ready document for the everyday writer. In the 1980s comes the culture of now, which provides the business landscape that our documents must inhabit today. This landscape was forever altered by the second fax machine. You see, one fax machine by itself is of no use, a mere curiosity. Like the telephone, it takes two. And once there was a second fax machine, and a third, and 3 million, as happened in this stage, faxing became a way of life. And at the end of the decade, one of the most dominant features of today's business landscape, email, also became a way of life. Although email had been around since the 1960s, only in the 1980s did different email systems learn to talk to each other. And talk they did, with an estimated 10 billion email messages per day around the world. The effects? The speed of business. Gone was the 3-day buffer that used to be provided by the U.S. Mail. Gone was the 24-hour buffer by FedEx. With fax and email, document communication could be as fast as you could type it. And the response you were expected to give? Immediate, of course, adding to the amount of text and information that we must deal with every day. The ability to design documents, not just write them, was given to the masses in 1989 with the debut of Microsoft's Office Suite. Along with PowerPoint and Excel, there was also Microsoft Word, which combined full graphics with text formatting capabilities. Instead of having to create text with one program and then import it into a graphic design program, with Word, any combination of images, graphics, and text was possible. And you could see what it looked like on your monitor before printing. Soon, PowerPoint was in almost every executive meeting room, lights dimmed, slides with animated graphics flashing out their phrases and bullet points. Certainly not paragraphs. This close relationship between image and text became cemented for the masses in 1995 with the explosion of the graphical side of the Internet, the World Wide Web. Soon you were hearing statistics like this one from Sun Microsystems Science Lab, which found that 79% of users scanned and skimmed instead of reading word for word. Clearly, graphic design was no longer the purview of specialists, but the bread and butter of the everyday business document writer and web user. The consecutive paragraphs of text, they were being replaced by the discrete chunks of the new visual literacy. Lists, tables, charts, call-out boxes, and short paragraphs. In other words, you no longer wrote a document. You had to learn to design it and to use your design skills to map your information for your reader, who was also now the viewer of your document. And just as the typical roadmap combines symbols with text to help you find your way, today's business document is an information roadmap that combines symbols and graphics with bits of text to convey the point, to get you to your information destination quickly in as few words as possible. Today, we're seeing the rapid development of cheap, user-friendly programs for automated speech recognition, no writing required. We're also seeing the rapid deployment of platforms for full-motion, live teleconferencing. What effect will these developments have on the look and sound of business documents? The pressure to visualize our documents is increasing. Indeed, video is becoming a familiar type of document. One result of this communications revolution is the need for document design. It's clear that written communications today are being held to a new set of expectations. These expectations are based on a new visual language that integrates signs, symbols, and images with text. Print literacy, text literacy, in other words, black squiggles on a page, are no longer enough. The reasons why? The new time pressure we're under. Or, as Bill Gates put it, business at the speed of thought. Just as the 3-hour baseball game increasingly tries our patience, so does any document that dares to demand we decode it without the visual shorthand of lists, tables, charts, and call-outs. Fast food and fast documents. No wonder the old-style, old print literacy document is considered noisy and a real communication inhibitor. How do we meet these new expectations, demands, and standards? We do it with 3 simple tools: visual space, visual progression, and visual differentiation. These are the grammar of document design. First, visual space. This is the principle that the distance or white space between page elements equals their relationship. The closer they are to each other on the page, the more related they are conceptually, and vice versa. The farther apart, the less related they are. Visual space is thus a chunking tool, dividing text into smaller, meaningful parts. Second, visual progression. This refers to providing sequence with the use of alignment achieved through indentation, through the use of symbols such as numbers, bullets, and flags, and through the use of headings and subheadings. Last is visual differentiation. This is the use of text formatting tools to change type color, type weight such as bold-facing, to select different font families, and to use different point sizes in order to separate chunks and to indicate their relationship. In part 2 of this presentation, we're going to apply the concepts of visual SPD to a typical magazine article, and then we'll learn the secrets of info mapping and chunking. I hope you'll join me.